Welcome back! How are you? I'm fine and ready to work. Today, we will continue talking about jobs and occupations. We will learn some new words and phrases, do several vocabulary tasks, and revise some grammar structures. Get ready, and let's start! Are you ready with home task from the previous lesson? If you remember, I asked you to think of one job for each letter of the alphabet. I never give a task to my students if I'm not ready to do it myself. Well, it was a good brainstorm for me too. Here are some answers. Do you have the same answers? A. Architect. B. Builder. C. Chef. D. Doctor. E. Engineer. F. Farmer. G. Grocer. H. Historian. I. Investigator. J. Judge. K. Karate instructor. L. Lawyer. M. Mechanic. N. Novelist. O. Ophthalmologist. P. Photographer. Q. Quantum physicist. R. Receptionist. S. Shop assistant. T. Teacher. U. Umpire. V. Violinist. W. Waiter. X. X-ray technician. Y. Yachtsman. Z. Zookeeper. Well, try this activity with your peers. It can be fun if you try to play really quickly. Now, let's read the job descriptions. What are the jobs? Pay attention to the highlighted words. They convey the key meaning. If you don't know them, consult the dictionary and make a new batch of words on Quizlet. A. You don't need special qualifications to do my job, except for a driving license. I deal with the public. I'm responsible for getting them where they want to go. It's quite a stressful job because of the traffic and because my passengers are often in a hurry. I work outdoors, but because I'm inside my car, I work in quite good conditions. I'm self-employed, not an employee in a company. I don't earn an enormous salary. B. I work in dangerous conditions. One day, I'd just like to work indoors in an office and do paperwork, or maybe even manual work. I'm not very well paid considering the amount of work I do. It's a skilled job because you need special training to do it. For example, you need to learn to control a big crowd of people, but really it's experience that teaches you to deal with criminals. So, A is a taxi driver, B a police officer. Here I would ask you to work with a partner. Describe a job using the expressions in red from the text we were reading. Can your partner guess the job? Let me start. I'm responsible for feeding and caring for animals. It's also my job to clean the animals' cages, report health problems, and entertain visitors. For this job, you need special qualifications. For example, a degree in biology or zoology. Of course, you need to have a love for animals. Each species is different from the others and requires special attention and care. You also need to be good at keeping records because you have to collect a lot of data for each animal. Well, I hope that you could guess. This person is a zookeeper. Good job! Let's move on. Here are types of work. Match the types of work to the situations. 1. Casual work. 2. Flexible work. 3. Full-time work. 4. Part-time work. 5. Self-employment. 6. Shift work. 7. Working on a 0 hours contract. 8. Volunteer work. And here are the situations. I won't read them out loud. You can find the exercise in the attached document to the video. Pause the video, do the task, and we'll check it together. Are you ready? Here they are. 1. G. So casual work is the one you do from time to time. 2. B. Flexible work means you can choose your working hours. 3. C. Full-time work is when you need to be at office for almost 9 hours. 4. H. Part-time work means that you work on 2 or 3 days a week or several hours a day. 5. F. Self-employment means working for yourself. It can be challenging but rewarding. 6. A. Shift work can be difficult if you have to work night shifts. 7. E. Working on a 0 hours contract means that they hire you when there is a special need in extra employees. 8. D. If you do volunteer work, it means you are not getting any money. Well, I used to do a lot of volunteer work when I was a student. We would go to the botanical garden and help with the flower beds, or we also used to help in the orphanages. That was an unforgettable experience when you felt that your community needed you. Of course, it's not just an episode from my life. Pay attention to the grammar structures. I used to do a lot of volunteer work when I was a student. We would go to the botanical garden and help with the flower beds. Used to plus infinitive. We use this expression to talk about habits or repeated actions in the past which we don't do in the present. We also use it to talk about states in the past which are no longer true. For example, I used to have long hair, but now I have short hair. He used to drink a lot of Coke, but now he doesn't drink Coke. They used to live in India, but now they live in Germany. And would plus infinitive. We can also use would plus infinitive to talk about a habit or repeated action in the past. We usually use would plus infinitive in this way when we're telling a story about the past. So we can say, when I was a student, we would often have a snack after class on a Friday. When I lived in Italy, we would go to a little restaurant near our house. Please note that you can't speak about past states using would plus infinitive, only actions. Let's practice a bit. Choose the best alternative. If you think both alternatives are correct, choose both. 1. When I was small, I would have a skateboard. 2. My brother used to live in France for a month. 3. We wouldn't walk to school, but now we do. 4. When I was 10, I would play computer games for hours. 5. Once my friend would meet a famous actor. 6. At primary school, I would go home for lunch. 7. In the past, everything would be cheaper. To check your answers, please do the test below the video. Remember that you can choose both answers if necessary. Well done! This was part 1. Next time, we will continue with the same topic. What should you do so far? Learn the vocabulary, study the grammar rules, and describe different jobs using the expressions we dealt with in the beginning of the lesson. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye!